everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tina's Arena. Today, I have on Celani, and she's going to tell us a story about herself as well.
Hi, everyone. My name is Celani. I'm a nurse. I'm Filipino, so I guess I play into that all Filipinos are nurses stereotype, but I tried really hard not to be a nurse. Out of high school, all of my aunts and my parents and everyone around was like, be a nurse, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, at like 18, after high school, you're like, I'm going to do whatever I want. So I did do whatever I wanted, and I went into social work, still working with people. I don't know why I thought I could work with people, but I did. And I took social work for a year and a half, and I hated every second of it. All the classes were terrible. I couldn't relate to any of it. And then at 18, I got a job as a PSW. So I worked as a PSW taking care of people.
Using your social work?
I didn't have to use anything. At the time, you didn't really need a diploma or anything to work in these group homes. So I worked in a group home. So they just took me off the street, Joe Schmo, taught me everything I know about moving people and changing them and things like that. And yeah, I hated school so much. I stayed, not long after I got that job, they decided they're going to need like your DSW, your certificate or whatever. But I got grandfathered in. I took a year off of school after my year and a half of social work. And sure enough, I went into nursing because at 2020, You're like, oh, I wasted so much time. I need to make money. I went into RPN school because it was only 2 years and I wanted to make money, get going. But I did it. I took nursing. I was a nurse as an RPN for 6 years. And then I realized, dude, you need to do more with that. You can't see a lot of the departments you want to see as an RPN. So I went back to school. That was a journey because going back to school at 29 years old, everyone's at least 10 years younger than you. And it was a lot. It was a journey. I graduated in 2020. So at the 10-year mark of me being a nurse, I graduated again. And here we are 5 years into that, 15 years as a nurse. And yeah, I wouldn't say nursing is who I am, but it's definitely what I do. It's what I'm good at. And again, contrary to popular belief and all of my complaining, I actually really do enjoy it. There's a sense of it sounds corny, but helping people or even explaining to them what's going on with them sometimes, or you see these people at some of their worst days or at their most vulnerable because they're sick. And yeah, I feel like I'm told I'm good at it. It doesn't feel like it when you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, later on, people are like, oh, I remember her. She's got the weird name. It's hard for people to remember my name, but they remember that cliche saying, they remember how you make them feel. It's a true thing. And I thought I was just working until patients would come back and say, who's that girl? The one, because my hair's usually in a bun and it's flopping around. The one with the funny name and her hair's like this. Yeah, it's
rewarding.
It is rewarding at the end of the day. And it's surprising how much you see and how much you learn from other people. And honestly, I surprise myself every day with what I know. Sometimes I say stuff and you're explaining something to somebody and they're like, oh yeah. And in the back of my head, I was like, damn, where'd you get that from?
Yeah.
That's pretty smart.
I know my shit.
I know my stuff. I know some things. But yeah, even in nursing, I've hopped around to all kinds of different departments and specialties. I'm currently in the ER, which is a wild ride. I've worked in the ICU. What I know best is dialysis, because that's what I've done as an RN for the longest. But yeah, we're out here trying all new things and learning all kinds of stuff and meeting new people before we have to buckle down.
Okay. So many questions. Well, first of all, an observation. Isn't it crazy how you can be working in the same field for 15 years and still feel like you don't know anything?
Absolutely. I literally know nothing. Every single day I walk into that hospital and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Some days it's monotonous and you just do the same thing over and over again, but not one day is the same as the last. You could be doing the same thing in theory, but the circumstances around that same thing are so different. But honestly, it's hard. While you're in it, you say, it's the same thing over and over again, but you literally learn something new every day, if not about your field or what you're doing, about yourself. Because I've been like, dude, you have no patience. What are you doing in this field? And then at the end of your shift, you're like, I got through it and I didn't lose my shit. So
What about it, nursing, when you were younger, made you not want to be a nurse? Or was it just the stereotype?
not the stereotype per se. I just didn't like people telling me what to do. So like I was that, I wouldn't say I was defiant by any means, but I wanted to see what else was out there in terms of what to do with the rest of my life. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. That's only one thing. There's got to be something else.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the years leading up to me going back to school, I thought, what else can I go back to school for that's not nursing? Because I didn't want to leave nursing, but I was like, if I'm going to change it up now, I might as well do it and start fresh. But one, I had 10 years in at the time already. And I was like, you know what? This is what you know. Just put your head down, get it done. And now here we are, pay raise. And more opportunity for sure. Like I have the options to go to the States if I wanted to work over there. Heaven forbid I lost my job here. But yeah, the doors are open much wider. And you definitely get to see more things.
Is there more schooling in your future? Do you foresee?
Oh, I say it all the time to my friends. I say, if I ever tell you that I'm going back to school, punch me in the face because I'm literally losing my mind and I've literally gone crazy. I say that now, but I don't want to say I get bored, but I do. I get bored and I tend to like want more. So I don't want to say never, but I'm saying never. But
maybe like 10, 15 years.
10, 15 years in, we'll see what happens, but the option's always there, which is nice. But school as an adult it's not for the weak.
Oh,
not for the weak at all.
Yeah, I've thought about going back to school a lot, but I just know how I am at school and it's not good.
The thing is with nursing, because I was in it already, like I was already a nurse, I knew when I went back to get my degree what I needed to know and what was just kind of fluff, which worked for me. Like my grades weren't stellar by any means because you still have to study. There's a lot of stuff that you've seen, but the depth of what you have to know in nursing school is wild. But it was nice because a lot of it was a review and a lot of it was like, oh yeah, that's why we do this, that, and whatever. But it's not easy financially either. Holy smokes.
So your path to nursing was kind of like you got some working experience first.
I got a lot of working experience first.
Yeah. But the way the regular school system is, you just go straight into your schooling. Do you think that the way you did it is better, even though you went back to school much later?
I wouldn't change it because experience, that's how you learn anything in nursing, really. All those books, and you could get amazing grades in nursing school, but be a total flop in a hospital or in a community, in any setting, because you don't know how to talk to people, you don't know how to carry yourself. Like, I don't regret the way I did it, although I wish I had done it sooner. But I'm an advocate for everyone to go back to school, even though it was terrible.
Yeah, I think I've talked about it before. But I am not a big fan of the schooling system and the university and how you're forced to almost pick your field straight out of high school, because I was very young, naive, dumb, had no idea what I wanted to do in life. So I just picked something randomly and I hated it. And I was forced to pick something because my parents forced me. Whereas I think if I was just put to work for 1 or 2 years, who cares if you're delayed 1 or 2 years? Is that really that much time? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I think truly the only thing I got from my university experience was a great group of friends. But we live in Windsor and I would have met those people anyway. So I think university is a complete waste of time for me.
Having done both the RPN and the program and knowing there's a divide in nursing. There's RPNs and RNs, and having done the program, they look down on RPNs. And I'm like, dude, why? You can't tell the difference between RNs and RPNs. On paper, yeah, there's a difference. And, they should get the less acute patients. They should get the more stable ones. But it doesn't always happen that way. And some of these RPNs, let me tell you, will run circles around me because they know their stuff and because they know what they're doing, or just because they've had experience. It's a shame because we have to pay for our license to the College of Nurses, and it's the same price.
Mm-hmm.
To the penny, RPNs pay the same amount as the RNs do to the college, and they get paid less. I mean, yeah, we had to do 2 more years of school, and yeah, we have a degree, but that doesn't mean much of anything. I know some RNs, how'd you get there? Because you can't teach common sense, and a lot of nursing is common sense. And like, there's common nursing sense, there's street-wise sense, and like, you can't teach that in school. And I feel like that gap year that people talk about, that they just don't do anything, they go, the year people travel or find themselves, that's an important year. My gap year just happened to be a year of social work and learning how much I didn't like it. And now, like, I work closely with some social workers, and man, their job is not easy. You couldn't pay me to do that job. I would rather have my hands deep into someone's body than deal with the stuff that they have to deal with outside of what I do.
Yeah. I mean, it's all hard work when you have to deal with people and when they're in such vulnerable states.
It's a lot to handle sometimes. Like, these are some of their worst days. Like, you know, you have someone who just had a heart attack and like, they don't know what to do. They don't have anything set for them. Like, it's scary for people, which has taught me to get my stuff in order. Like, I tell my people, like my sister and my husband, like, this is what I want. If anything ever happens to me, X, Y, and Z, so that no one's guessing. And you can't, like, I've had a lot of instances where the person is so sick that they're not breathing on their own. We're keeping them alive, but they don't know what their wishes were. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that has taught me to, you know, get your stuff in order. And it sounds morbid and like people don't want to do it, but when the time comes, it's good to have. So no one's guessing about what you want for yourself if anything ever happened to you. I mean, it's just kind of the nurse in me to get, because I've seen families just combust because their matriarch or patriarch they're gone. Not gone, but like they're panicking and they're doing all kinds of Hail Mary things for this person when they wouldn't have actually wanted that, but they didn't know. Yeah. So if that's a lesson to anyone, get your stuff in order.
I think that's very important because we never know when stuff is going to happen.
You think you have so much time. Yeah, in theory you do, but express your needs and wants for yourself if ever you become incapacitated to someone, anyone really, that knows you, who's close to you. Write it down. I don't know how solid a written thing is, but it's better than nothing. And like, hope that your family like follows those choices for you. Because I've had family members who they know it's written, there's an actual will signed by a lawyer, blah, blah, blah. But the family tries to go against that.
Yeah.
Because they're so emotional. It's vulnerable. They don't want to lose their loved one and stuff like that. But nursing, we see all kinds of weird stuff. But that's a big one, is like, get your stuff in order, express your wishes to your loved ones, because you really never know.
Yeah, you never know. You said you are a nurse, but it's not who you are. So who is Celani?
Celani's still trying to figure it out. I've learned that I care a lot. I play it off like I don't, but I'm someone who I'm solid to my people.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you when you're being stupid, and I'll be mean about it. And like, why are you dumb? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But that's because I also want that in return. I like to try new things. Thanks to you, Tina. Tina here has got me out of my comfort zone many a time, now being one of them. But yeah, I've learned that I'm like ballsy like that. Like I like to try new things. I used to be so calculated and like, if this, like I would think everything through before doing it. Now it's just like, okay, go, do. I think because, you know, the older you get, the more you realize I can handle really whatever comes at me. I feel like I'm feisty. I got some fight in me. Like, if things aren't going my way, we'll make it happen.
Understatement.
Yeah, I think I'm resilient. I just, if the circumstances are shit, we deal with them and we go. And even to people who are around, like, are going through some shit, I'm like, oh, hey, that's fine. Feel your shit. You can have some self-pity, but you have to get up and do your thing. Do what you need to do. Get out. See people. When you're not doing so hot, reach out to people. The real ones will show who they are. I'm one of those people that will like talk so much shit and be like, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. But really in the background, I'm still trucking along like, we got to get this done. I grind.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope the people around me see that too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're in a shitty spot, you can count on me to let you be in that shitty spot, but we're going to get you out of there. We can't just stay there forever. And I think that is more me than being a nurse, is the resilience. Like, it can't be shit forever. And I think I want that to be known as more of me than she's a nurse. Like,
Yeah.
I'm scrappy.
I agree with that. That's probably one of the aspects about you that makes you a great nurse, because you're resilient and you care and you have that fight in you.
I think so. I hope so. I have had patients say that, like, my situation was really dire and our little pep talk helped. I was like, really? And it's really nice. So, like, I have to embody that part of things the scrappiness, the resilience. And I think as negative as I am, sometimes I'm pretty positive. I make the negative seem funny so that it's positive, if that makes any sense. Like, we could be in the trenches and everyone's losing it. And I'm out here like, well, who's going to live first? Everyone's going to live, but someone has to suffer a little bit. We're going to get out of this. And I think that's who I am, is resilient and scrappy. And I will make something good happen from a shitty situation, I think.
I love that answer. I think that's a great way to describe yourself, and a great outlook on life as well, is just to know that you can make it through it if you just keep, like you said, trucking along one step at a time, and eventually we'll get out of it.
If it's not, everything will be fine in the end. If it's not fine, then it's not the end. I think that's what I want all the people around me to realize, is like, as long as I'm around, I'm going to do what I can to make things okay, but I'm not going to ignore the fact that things are crap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will tell you, yeah, this is not great circumstances, but you weather the storm.
Do you think that your faith affects that outlook?
Absolutely. I grew up in church, and it's weird because I was just talking about this with my husband. I have there's a higher being that tells me everything's going to be okay. I know that the Lord will take care of me regardless of what's going on, regardless of the stupid mistakes that I make. It's going to be fine because of my faith. I'm not, super Bible thumping and like all that stuff, but I do believe that I'm taken care of. The Lord watches me, because let me tell you, like, in nursing alone, there's some times where I'm like, that probably you shouldn't have done that, but everything worked out okay. And like, I feel like the Lord puts people in my life in order to help me stay on that track. There's roadblocks for sure, but a lot of it is the fact that I have faith that everything's going to be fine. I do panic a lot, but the back of my mind always is like, it's fine. This is the way the Lord wants it to go. That's the way it's going to go. And that a lot of people are like, you're crazy for doing X, Y, and Z. Like, I like jumping off of cliffs into water. I would skydive if you let me. Like, all of those crazy things. And I tell people, if that's the way the Lord wants me to go, that's the way we're going to go. Like, I don't shy away from stuff like that anymore. And not even that big, even like anything really. If you're afraid of something, why? What's the worst that could happen is my thing. And then that's another, like, what is the worst that could happen? If the worst does happen, you just work through it. It's fine. And a lot of that is because I have a lot of faith. It's hard to explain.
Okay. What is something you would tell yourself or someone in your position like 20 years ago?
20 years ago.
Say like
18-year-old?
Yeah. Or like fresh out of high school. What do I do next?
Dude, it's hard to say. You're an idiot at 18. You literally know nothing. You know nothing. You're out of school where you have to ask to go to the bathroom still. Like, it's hard. As in, you can't tell 18-year-olds anything. I want to tell an 18-year-old to, like, be careful, but also don't. Like, I mean, obviously be careful doing things, but, like, do whatever makes you feel good about yourself. Don't worry too much about what other people think of you, but stand on your choices. Like, if you're going to do one thing, do it. And if the consequences are crap, suck it up. That's what you decided to do. I was too afraid at 18 to do anything. I was really like straight shot. I was the good girl. Halo, oldest child. Like, I wish I was a little bit more rambunctious, but it brought me to where I am now. And now I know myself better. And I think that's what allows me to make all of these decisions, like, because I know how to carry myself in the consequences of things that I do, right? Like, if I break my leg doing something, well, you decided to do that. So it's just, can you deal with the consequences of the things that you're going to do? And if I could tell my 18-year-old self that, I would. But would I still do it? No. I guess it's just the way I was brought up, you know?
You have to be a smart 18-year-old to even think of the consequences, because I was not.
Exactly. At 18, what are consequences? You're invincible at 18. I was too careful at 18, but I feel like it turned out okay.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I was very square within the lines, obedient, and I do wish that I pushed the envelope more.
I feel like it would have changed a lot had I pushed the envelope a little bit more. But now I push the envelope now. And I feel like it's better for me to do it now because I'm more responsible and I know what consequences are. Because had I done it at 18, who knows?
Do you want people to find you online, add you on Instagram and stuff?
I don't care.
Yeah.
Me, if you want.
Do you have LinkedIn? You can link to your LinkedIn.
I haven't done anything to my LinkedIn. I think I'm still an RPN on LinkedIn.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So because your Instagram is like personal, right?
Yeah.
So then we probably won't link anything.
We don't.
Yeah. It's not like you're.
Yeah.
Trying to sell something.
I'm not trying to sell anything. If you want to see all my ramblings of golf and pickleball and just my putting up stories and funny things, sports, I post a lot of sports stuff. That's it. I'm not selling you anything. If you want to hang out, cool. Like, I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Is there anything else on your heart that you want to share?
I don't know.
That's okay.
Tomorrow is my birthday. I've been afraid of getting old. Not afraid of getting old. It's a gigantic blessing that I'm 38.
Yeah.
I think lately it's been hitting me like, dude, at 38 years old. But I don't want to feel like this every birthday. So I'm going to put it out there and be like, embrace it. We're turning 38 tomorrow. Yeah, that's scary. Getting older is a blessing. Like, dude, you live till 38. Rightfully so. You're very careful. So, but now not that I'm going to be less careful, but more cavalier in the things that I do. So here's to you guys wishing you were older. Don't.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the episode. If you live in Windsor-Essex County area in Ontario, Canada, then you should know that I host an open mic live storytelling event the last Saturday of every month at Aloe Lounge on Erie Street in Little Italy from 5 to 7 p.m. If you don't know what open mic storytelling is, well, I encourage anyone to come up and share their story. We have different themes every month. The event celebrates connection, our humanness, our emotions, our rawness. It gives us space to really express ourselves and to have people listen, because I feel like we don't really get too much of this anymore. It is essentially a gathering of the souls and sharing a little part of ourselves with each other, whether it be a funny story, a sad story, a happy story, a romantic story, any story that is yours, you can share. And I'm loving the community that is coming from this event. So come to the event. I hope to see you there. You can purchase tickets at talesofthetown.ca.